welcome to Cook Like a Firefighter. My name is Brian Levin. I've been a firefighter and EMT and advanced EMT for 10 years. And I learned a lot of my cooking style in the firehouse. And I'm here to share it with you guys. So come with me and we'll go on an adventure to cook bang bang shrimp today. Alright, so we have all of the staples of bang bang shrimp. Our spaghetti, shrimp. The wonderful thing about living in Southeast Louisiana is the fresh seafood that we can get. The horrible thing about living in Southeast Louisiana is peeling the fresh seafood that we can get. So then garlic, smoked paprika, olive oil, black pepper, Parsley Flakes, onion powder, Thai style sweet chili sauce. This is really important. You need to try out a couple of different kinds because everybody has a little bit different flavor that they like. I landed on the Great Value brand that actually works really well. It's a perfect size, one jar for one batch of bang bang shrimp, and gives a nice, really nice flavor. Lime juice, mayonnaise of choice. The mayonnaise of choice is obviously Blue Plate mayonnaise. However, my daughter is allergic to eggs, so we do a lot of vegan type stuff, type substitutes. So we use Coleman's vegan spread for this recipe because it works really, really well. It's very creamy. And then to go with it, just your favorite French bread, some butter, and garlic salt. Don't worry if you didn't get all of those. Putting all of this in the comments down below. Alright, so let's get started. So we're going to turn our burner on medium high, somewhere in there. Come with me and you'll see. Yeah. Okay, so I have a pot of water putting on to boil for the spaghetti.
We're cool.
Don't worry about the smoke. I'm a professional. Alright, so this is basically a 2-pot meal. Everything in 2 pots. It would be a 1-pot meal except for the spaghetti.
Struggling.
My wife is killing me.
Slowly but surely.
Okay, so as this comes up to temperature, we're going to go ahead and cut up our bread and get that ready.
Brandon's big knives. Very sharp knives.
The important part about cutting bread is never use a cutting board so you can mar up your cutting surface as much as possible.
Good thing we love our counters.
So just remember when you're cutting, don't cut all the way through. Just cut most of the way through because then it makes it a lot easier to transfer to some aluminum foil and heat up. So because my whole family is high maintenance, my other daughter, we're not sure if she can do dairy yet, so we do fake butter too. I'm going to use real anything. Okay, so just slather you some good butter on one side of each slice.
It's struggling. That did not work. Okay.
Camera person is going to be fired.
Just trying to get your best angle.
That's that one. Alright. And give it a nice little sprinkle of garlic salt between in each of the slices.
Garlic salt versus red garlic.
Yes. So garlic salt when making garlic bread because it gives it a little bit of a flavor profile of adding the salt to the garlic because just garlic, straight garlic, is not where you want to go with that. It works best if you forget to turn the oven on and then do it later.
That's all you did.
Yes, it is. So if you add a little olive oil to your water before you add your noodles, the noodles will not stick together quite so much.
Hold on, it's not focusing on you.
Perfect.
You also really warm over here.
Oh, it's very tender. Okay, so our pot is nice and hot, so we're gonna splash in a little olive oil. Alright, so when you're cooking, especially in a firehouse, some firehouses don't have, let's say, all of the measuring utensils that maybe you have in your home kitchen. So you learn to not measure. Just like when you're writing, you learn to write to your audience. And when you're cooking, you learn to cook to your audience. Your family may be a family that really loves spicy food, so you can basically take any recipe and just add more spices to it and make it unique for your family. At the same time, if your in-laws are from the Pacific Northwest, then maybe you don't need to cook with any spices at all and it's still too spicy. So
His in-laws
you
are
can-
not from the Pacific Northwest. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
So then, you know, you may want to not use any spices at all. You may want to use some. It's up to you. But you got to consider your audience when you are. So me personally, when I'm baking, I always measure because baking is chemistry. Cooking like this is more of an art rather than a chemical reaction happening. So you really need to experiment and find what works for you and your family. It works very well if you spill the oil onto the burner directly because then you get fire. So when cooking like this, I very, very rarely, if ever, measure anything. However, there is one very important rule that you must always follow, and that is to never, ever, ever measure garlic. You're supposed to measure with your heart. Once you let your garlic cook a little bit, saute it up a little bit, add your shrimp. We're going to add some smoked paprika. What I use, you can use regular paprika, wherever you want. Again, don't measure. Measure with your heart. A little bit of fresh ground black pepper. You're basically going to want to let your shrimp cook until it is no longer translucent. It should turn a very light shade of pink or white in some cases. Okay, and as far as your pasta goes, some people like to throw it against the wall. For me, I like it a little bit early to al dente, so I actually like it a little bit hard when I bite into it. If you wait until it sticks to the wall, it is actually past al dente, so that is not, for me, not the perfect way to cook pasta. So I don't know it's ready until I taste it, and it tastes like I want it. The shrimp is looking really, really nice. Can be a little deceiving because the paprika adds a lot of red color to the shrimp. So you just gotta kind of watch it to make sure that you don't overcook it. Because overcooked shrimp is not. And that's just about right. Alright, so at this point the shrimp is ready, so we're going to move over to the sauce for the main shrimp. So we'll do some parsley. I like a lot of parsley in there, which I actually do. Pop a little bit off. Go to town.
What flavor is the parsley?
Roughage.
Texture.
A little bit of texture, just a little bit of earthy flavor, I guess. I don't know. You know, like when you're braising outside. A little bit of onion powder. Don't go crazy with the onion powder. Onion powder tends to add a lot with just a little bit of powder. Good pour of lime juice. Again, not measuring, just eyeball it. And then our secret ingredient. So you have to get it open. That didn't work. Pull up the oven door. Alright. Pour that whole bad boy in there. He likes to hide in his crevices. Oh! 4-minute trick. And last ingredient is a god-awful amount of mayonnaise. The trick with the mayonnaise is to add a little bit more than you do QD, because it really beefs up the sauce a lot and gives it a lot of creaminess and a lot of good texture and a lot of good flavor. Then we're just going to take your noodles and dump them right in. Some good flips, get the sauce all mixed in, and the shrimp distributed all the way through. And we're done. As with most pasta dishes, the longer you leave it sitting, the thicker the sauce will get. So depending on if you like really hot, not overly thick sauce, you may want to eat it right away, or you may want to let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. Let it thicken up a little bit, and just kind of do that to your taste.
Do you leave the heat on if you let it sit there?
If you're gonna let it sit, you want to turn your heat to low for sure. Otherwise, it will actually bring the sauce to a boil, and you don't want that, because then you'll continue cooking the shrimp, and you'll end up with rubber shrimp, which is never good. Yeah, so you can serve this up with some nice steamed broccoli, the bread that we cooked a few minutes ago, and Parmesan cheese on top. There you go.
I'm glad we cooked that big. Made that big one, still be
I'm sure. Oh, listen.
This is delicious. This bang bang shrimp is delicious, Brian. It really is. And I'm really glad that I wrote the recipe down while you were filming, because I will be making this.
Yes.
And you're welcome.
Encore.
You're welcome.
Encore.
This is delicious. I love
But it's
it.
okay. The recipe is down in the comments below.
There you
Yes.
go. It
Yes.
is. So you guys make this.